guys, it's Cece, and today I am here to talk about two separate things. First of all, I'm going to be talking about my reading goals in 2017 and how all of those went, a 2017 reading goals wrap-up, and then I'm also going to be talking about my new reading goals going into 2018. If you don't care at all about my 2017 reading goals, then I will put a timestamp down in the description below and you can jump to where I start talking about my 2018 goals, but if you're here for all of it, thanks, welcome, let's talk about how 2017 went. So first of all, some stats. In 2017, I read a grand total of 96 books. Of those books, 12 of them were graphic novels or trade paperbacks, and 8 of them were novellas. I read mostly YA, coming out at about 62% YA books. I also read a little bit of middle grade and a fair amount of adult. I read a total of 37 2017 releases, which is absolutely the most new release books I have ever read in the course of a year, and I am so proud of myself for it. I do have one final statistic, and that is how many books I read with queer main characters, because we all know what kind of channel this is, what kind of content you expect from me. But in 2017, a grand total of 54% of my books had queer main characters or were nonfiction written by queer people. Me, that is a big deal personally. I am incredibly proud of that number, and in general, I'm really proud of all of my statistics. So in 2017, I had reading goals and I had channel goals. I want to talk about the reading goals first. And let's talk about the ones I didn't meet. First of all, I did not read 100 books in 2017. This is the first time in a few years that I have not met my yearly reading goal. I think at the beginning of last year, if I had known I wasn't meeting that goal, I probably would have been a little bit crushed and really disappointed in myself, but by the time I got to the end of December, I had really reconciled that it wasn't going to happen, and being 4 books off is fine with me. December was a really hard month. And I finally decided one day that doing the things I wanted to do that were going to make me happy was more important than meeting an arbitrary goal that I had set for myself 12 months earlier when I didn't know what the year was going to hold. So, while I am going to continue to do reading goals in the future as far as the number of books I want to read, I'm not disappointed in myself for not meeting this 100 books. I put my mental well-being first, and that is just fine with me. Another goal that I failed was that I did not read my full top 15 to read in 2017 list, which is another thing that I haven't failed to do for a couple of years. But it was the end of December, and again, you just heard my reasoning. So, there were 2 books that I didn't finish on that list. Stiletto by Daniel O'Malley and Nevada by Imogen Binnie. I have since finished Stiletto, and I am hopefully going to be reading Nevada soon, but I did not read them in 2017. Didn't happen. And the final reading goal that I didn't manage to make happen is I set a goal for myself at the beginning of the year to not put off my TBR to the last minute, and clearly that happened since I had like 5 books for my top 15 to read, all shoved into December. I put everything off, so I definitely didn't pass that goal. But there are a ton of goals that I did check off, including being more selective about the books that I accept for review. My channel is growing. I recently hit 27,000 subscribers, and thank you guys so much for that. Oh my god. But it does mean that I get a lot more emails about reading books for people, and in 2017 I wanted to challenge myself to be more selective about what I want to read so that I can actually read everything people send me, but also so that I have time for myself to read. I was absolutely more selective with my books last year. I think I did a good mix of reading books I wanted to read and reading books sent to me for review, so consider this one checked off. I also had a goal for myself to read at least one 2017 new release each month, and considering the fact that I read 37 2017 releases last year, we can check that off. In December, I almost messed it up at the last minute, but then I read Spinning by Tilly Walden, which is a graphic memoir. I read it in a couple of hours just because, for myself, I wanted to be able to say that I read at least one every month, and I did. Plus, I loved spinning, so it was a great decision. Each year, I choose an author, and I set a goal for myself to read at least 2 new-to-me books by that author. In 2017, that person was Agatha Christie, and I did in fact read 2 new-to-me books by her. I read And Then There Were None, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars, and I read The Mysterious Affair at Styles, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Check! And the last reading goal I have was that I wanted to finish or catch up on some book series, and definitely crossed this one off in my mind. According to the series page in my bullet journal, I have completed 6 series in 2017, plus I also DNF'd a couple of series, which took down my overall list. Obviously, I started a bunch more, but I thought 6 plus crossing off a few and saying I'm never going to read them was pretty good for me. And in 2018, I've already crossed off another one of these. So, still doing pretty good. My last 3 goals were all channel goals. So first, the one that I didn't accomplish, I wanted to upload more songs onto my channel. I play the guitar, I play the ukulele, and I write music, and I have really sporadically uploaded songs over the years. I wanted to upload a few in 2017. I wound up uploading 2, which is technically more, but also it was not the spirit of my goal, so I didn't consider this one completed. But if you want to go watch the 2 songs that I did upload, I uploaded one called California Sunrise, which was a song inspired by Everything Leads to You by LaCour, and I also uploaded one called Watch Buffy With Me, which is a nerdy love song. Those will be linked down in the description if you want to check them out. But I only did those 2. I do not consider this goal completed. The 2 that I did complete, first of all, were make channel content that's more creative. I feel like I have pushed myself a ton in the past year, and I think 2017 was a year of me being a lot more creative with what I upload. I think I created a really wide variety of content that I am incredibly proud of. So I checked that goal off. And the last goal that I had for myself was that I wanted to post more discussion and fandom videos. I crossed this goal off in the summer. I have posted a ton of fandom videos in 2017, and if you want to go check them out, I should have a playlist of fandom videos. You can flip through that, see which fandoms appeal to you. I also did a bunch more HP Chats, which is my Harry Potter video series. I did a video series about a series of unfortunate events and the TV show. I did multiple Q&As, I ranked my favorite Supernatural episodes, my favorite Doctor Who episodes. There is a lot out there. So go and check out my fandom playlist. I definitely consider this goal completed. And those are all of the goals that I set for myself in 2017 and how all of those goals panned out. With that out of the way, and with 2017 over in the past, it is time to talk about the new goals that I'm setting for myself in 2018. I only have one goal for my channel this year, and that is that I want to vlog more, or at least consistently vlog. In 2017, I vlogged a ton, and I am so glad that I have a lot of huge memories for myself committed to video. I vlogged Janelle and I's last spring break while we were students. I vlogged our graduation, us going to New York together, her visiting me visiting her, plus a ton of stuff in between. I vlogged the entirety of June, and I vlogged the entirety of November. I also did a ton of vlogs for readathons, and I've just been really pleased with how those have come out, and I've been pleased with how much you all seem to like them. So, my one channel goal going into 2018 is to vlog more, or at least be consistent in my vlogging, and vlog often, because I really like it. And now let's get into the reading goals. First of all, first and foremost, I do have a number set for myself. In 2018, I want to read 100 books. This number has not changed in 3 years. It's always 100 books, and I think that it's just a good number for me. As I kind of mentioned in the earlier part of this video, some of 2017 was incredibly difficult, and I wasn't focusing on reading, so I did not accomplish my 100 books in the year goal. But in 2018, I still want to maintain this challenge to myself to read 100 books. Another standard and yearly goal for myself is that I want to read every book on my top 12 to read TBR. Every year I do a video where I talk about a collection of books that are my top books that I want to read in the following year. This year there are 12 books on that list. You can go and watch it if you want. It'll be linked up on the screen, but I talked about 12 books in that video that I want to read this year, one for each month, and I want to read every single one on that list. I also have a goal set for myself for a new author. Each year I pick an author and I want to read 2 books of theirs that are going to be new to me. So I think the past 2 have been, I did Dean Koontz one year, last year I did Agatha Christie, of course, and this year I am choosing Stephen King. I have read a fair amount of Stephen King, so this is not going to be like exploring a new author. I've read a lot of his books, it's just that I like them a lot, and sometimes I have a harder time motivating myself to read them, but Janelle also reads a ton of Stephen King, and she has some that she's going to recommend to me. I'm going to dig through some of my TBR, and I'm going to choose 2 books by him that are new to me and read them at some point in the year. One of the ones I'm considering is The Shining. I've seen the movie, but I got too scared and couldn't handle it and like covered my eyes and didn't watch the end. But I can handle scary stuff significantly better in book form, and I really want to read The Shining, so maybe that's one of the 2. I'm also resetting a goal for myself to read at least one 2018 new release every single month. In 2017, I accomplished this really well. I read a ton of 2017 releases, and in 2018, I want to keep the ball rolling. Obviously, I want to continue to read backlist books because there are lots of backlist books that have become favorites, but I like having a goal set for myself that keeps me current, keeps me interested in new releases, and doesn't just let me put off all my anticipated releases for years at a time. I want to read the books that I'm excited about. I want to support new authors, debut authors, new books. So at least once a month, I want to read a 2018 release. Another monthly goal for myself is to read 1 or more adult books every single month. In the past, I have set a similar goal for myself, and I think I've made it far too vague because usually my goal is just read more adult books. And that doesn't work for me because then I'm just gonna keep putting them off like I usually do and then get to the year and be like, was it more? Was it less? It doesn't work. So I'm going to read at least 1 adult book every single month. I love reading adult books. I just have a tendency in my brain to worry about the time I put into reading stuff, and so my brain is like, calm down, that's gonna take too long to read, just read more YA. And I don't want my brain to have an excuse to do that anymore. I want to read more adult, I want to explore more of those stories. So I think having a goal for myself where I just read 1 a month will encourage me to read a lot more than 1 a month. I also have a more concrete series goal for myself instead of just in general saying I want to finish or catch up on some series. I have 5 series that I've decided I either need to continue on and finish up, or I need to DNF them and say that I'm never going to read them. That's some pressure, but it's pressure that I need on myself. So, the series that I have chosen, first of all, we have the Lunar Chronicles. I have read the first 3 books in the Lunar Chronicles, Cinder, Scarlet, and Cress. I read those a couple of years ago, and I have just never gone back to the series. I don't know if I want to read Fairest. I've heard pretty middling things. I own Winter, so my goal is to read Winter and then determine how I feel. If I then want to read the novella collection, or if I want to get into the graphic novel, those I determine as different things outside the series. But this year, I either read Winter, or I determine that I'm never going to finish the Lunar Chronicles. Next up, we have Six of Crows. This one is not going to be hard. I read Six of Crows in November. I own Crooked Kingdom, and I just have to read Crooked Kingdom before the end of the year. I'm going to be reading it in the first couple of months of the year. I also have Heroes of Olympus. I am deeply behind on the entire Rick Riordan world. I've read the Percy Jackson series a couple of times and like it, and I've read the first book in the Heroes of Olympus, but for some reason, I need a goal or some kind of checklist in order to make myself read more of them, which is weird because I do like them, but apparently I just need the structure. So, Son of Neptune has to happen in 2018, or I DNF the series. I also have the Zeros series. Zeros was the very first ever arc that I ever received on my channel. It was a couple of months into even having a channel, so I have held on to the books for longer than I maybe would have with other books. I really liked Zeros, and I have owned Swarm, the second book, for a while, and just never picked it up. So even though there is some sentimental connection to that series, either I read Swarm this year, or I never read it at all. And the final series on this list is the ACOTAR series. I have read A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury, and I want to read the 3rd and final book, A Court of Wings and Ruin. First of all, I want to read it because I want to know how it concludes, but also I need to read the 3rd book before I forget everything because there's no way I'm rereading the first 2 books. Janelle owns the 3rd book, so hopefully I can steal it from her and read it in 2018, or just decide that I'm not gonna do it at all. Okay, one more goal. One more reading goal for 2018, and that is that I want to reread Harry Potter. Rereading Harry Potter used to be an every other year situation. I would skip a summer, then the next summer I'd read it, then I'd skip a summer, then I'd read it. That's been my system, but it has now officially been past that. since I last read the series. And considering I do an almost monthly video series on my channel talking about Harry Potter, examining it, I should probably reread the books. So I'm not sure when this is going to happen. Generally speaking, summer has been my time to reread the series, but this will be the first time that I've read the series since I graduated school in general. So I have no idea. Things are up in the air, but I want to get through those 7 books, take some real detailed notes for a lot of future HP Chats videos, and in general, re-experience the world of Harry Potter that I love instead of continually being bogged down in all of the stuff that's come out since. And that's it! Those are all of the goals that I have for myself in 2018, along with talking about all of my reading goals that I accomplished or didn't accomplish in 2017. What do you think of my reading goals? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm curious to hear what you think about these goals and also maybe what some of your goals are going into 2018. I think people all just have these very different styles for the types of goals they need to set for themselves, the types of goals that work for them. So I'm curious, what are a few of your reading goals for 2018? If you have them, leave them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!